And now this section of the show, I'd like to move on to a viewer question. This viewer question came in through email. I'm not sure who sent it, but this is there's a screenshot of the product. But the viewer question was, how can I run spell check in internet browser? So I know this firsthand, and I love this when I first went to my Mac, is on Safari in a Mac, it's built in by default. And I believe if you download Safari on your PC, you'll find the same thing, that it'll spell check web forms and everything by default. On Internet Explorer, it doesn't do it. You have to download a third-party application. And then on Firefox, I'm going to tell you guys how to do it. But so in Internet Explorer, what I'm going to tell you is this, www.iespell.com. I recommend iespell.com. It's a free Internet Explorer browser extension that spell checks text input boxes on a web page. It should come in particularly handy for users who do a lot of web-based text entry, i.e. webmail, forums, blogs, diaries, and that sort of thing. Even if your application already includes spell check functionality, you might still want to install this utility because it's definitely much faster than a server-side solution. Plus, you get to store and use your own personal word list across your applications instead of maintaining separate ones for each application. So on Internet Explorer, I recommend iespell.com. It's like I said, it's an internet browser extension. Then on Firefox, Firefox has it built in, but it's basically by default it'll only check text fields, and there's a simple way to turn it on to have it check everything on your page. So it says in Firefox, it's built into the latest version, so you have to have the latest version of Firefox. It still has one issue. It doesn't automatically check the fields by default. The normal behavior is only to spell check multi-line text fields. You need to have it always check text fields. You need to follow these 3 simple steps. So I'm going to post these into chat here, and then I'll tell you guys about them. But basically, number 1, you need to just open up Firefox, type about:config in your URL bar. It's going to bring up a selection of all your configuration options. You'll search for spell check default, and then you'll change that value from 1 to 2. And when you change that value from 1 to 2, it's now going to check everything on that web page versus just what's in the multi-line text fields. That's an awesome, awesome thing, because I'm spoiled by Safari now, and I even love to do my browsing on Safari just because it has that spell check. And then to go on, so browser number 3 that I use, Safari supports it by default. So that being said, we'll have more notes on that in the show notes, and if you want to reference those tweaks or that IE spell Internet Explorer extension, just tune into the show notes after the show, and you can get it there. Also in the future, if anyone has a viewer question they'd like to see featured on the show, email that to live@hiweb.net with question in the subject line. So I had 3 or 4 questions this week that I kind of dug through. I had this actually in the tech tip section and then moved it over to the viewer question section. So I kind of juggle stuff around here, and this ended up being the viewer question for this week. Vince, a guy that just came into the room, wanted to know about how to tell people how to migrate to Linux. So possibly on one of the next shows we'll bring that to the plate and helping people migrate to Linux. So this part of the show here, what I'm going to do is talk about my sponsor for this week. Sponsor for this week is, this show is being brought to you by HP, or Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard is one of my affiliates, and see Hewlett-Packard for great deals on computers, laptops, printers, and much more. I'm also going to post this link into the chat here that says Shop HP, and if you click on that link and go to it and purchase something from HP, HiWEB gets a small commission, and that's how we have the affiliateship partnership with HP. Also, if you just go to shop.hiweb.net, you can see a link, links to all of my affiliates and get many more great deals from all of our show sponsors or affiliateship partners. I'm also going to just type shop into the chat, and it'll post the link in chat how you guys can get to the shopping resource. So let's move on this show. So let's see, we're moving along pretty good. 14 minutes into the show. That's pretty sweet.